The boy's final arrow in the competition landed right on the tail of the arrow he'd shot before. The crowd erupted instantly, but you'd never guess that just a few days earlier, the moment the boy drew his bow, a slap came flying at him. The coach berated him on the spot, saying his form was worse than a chicken's claw and he had no business aiming for the target. The classmates nearby joined in, jeering and mocking him, but they didn't know that this boy, whose form looked so strange, was actually a master who could hit the bullseye with his eyes closed. He didn't explain, but simply lowered his head and continued practicing in silence. The next day, the coach lost his temper and took over the lesson himself. Place your hand like this. Release the arrow like this. The boy followed the instructions, but his first arrow missed the target entirely. He knocked another arrow, and this time used his own technique, even deliberately aiming at a different target, only to hit the bullseye dead center. The coach turned green with envy and warned the boy, "If you don't change your form, don't even bother competing." The boy replied with just one sentence, "If I use your method, I'll lose." Soon, the day of the competition arrived. As soon as the coach announced the opponent's name, the teammates were too scared to even compete. Only the boy stood there, showing no reaction at all. The competition began. The opponent's first arrow hit a 10. It was the boy's turn. He raised his bow, aimed, and deliberately missed. The coach was instantly devastated. The opponent laughed, certain of victory. But then, the boy closed the gap arrow by arrow, forcing his way back into the lead, and advancing straight to the finals. At the critical moment, the opponent hit another 10, but the boy suddenly put on his headphones. The entire crowd wondered if he was about to lose it, but those who knew him said one thing: he's finally getting serious. The next second, he released an arrow that hit the 10 ring, sending him straight to the final showdown. Just then, a torrential downpour began. Everyone thought this was the moment it would all fall apart, but the two on the field were both as steady as ever. On the final arrow, the boy trailed by 1 point. He slowly raised his bow. His mind was filled with a phrase his father had once told him: "Trust your own hands." He released the arrow, and it flew through the rain. The next second, it landed right on the tail of his previous arrow, a perfect tie. Using the method everyone had dismissed, he claimed the championship. The coach, who had once called his form chicken claw-like, was the first to rush over to celebrate. From the very beginning, he hadn't intended to prove anything to anyone. He wasn't just beating his opponent, he was proving everyone wrong, those who define talent by standards alone.